5, 4, 3, 2. Realtors, you're in the right spot.
We're going to do this together.
Welcome to the Leading Edge Podcast.
These mentors showed me a map of success.
This is the place for real estate pros like you to get better at running your business, balancing your life, and having happy clients.
Do you know how powerful you are?
And now your host, Eric Thompson.
What's up, everyone? It's your good friend Eric Thompson on the Leading Edge Podcast, episode number 84. This one is called Ways to Phrase. Okay, we're going to talk about how to talk about what's going on in the market. Thank you for engaging, as always. I so appreciate it. You might be wondering how life is for me. Life is pretty darn good. I'm recording this in the summertime. Summertime is a good time in the Thompson household because we do all the things. We go to the lake, we travel, we go out and about. When you have a wife who's a teacher and you got 2 kids in school, they get the summertime off. So we make the most of it. And so that is fantastic. Things are going really well for me in my business life as well. So life is good. Okay, so here we go. Ways to phrase. We're going to talk about how to talk about the market. Let's first do a really fast recap of one of the key things that I teach, and that is how do you answer, how's the market? People ask you, how's the market? Because you get asked that all the time. Because you are a professional realtor, people are naturally curious about the market, so you're going to get asked, how's the market? There are 3 ways to answer that question. There are 2 ways to not answer the question. The 2 ways to not answer the question, the first thing to never say is crazy. All right, we never use the word crazy, because no one wants anything to do with crazy other than crazy people, right? So we never use that word, all right? And that's a natural knee-jerk response to use that word, so we're not going to use that word. We're also not going to use the word busy. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. We're never ever going to say that. Both of those words really repel people. They push people away. That's not good, all right? So don't say those 2 things. Here's what you could say. Here's what to do. 3 ways. Number 1, give a stat or a fact. All right, just give them like a nugget, stat, fact, what's going on with prices, inventory, days on market, number of transactions, whatever. Have a stat or a fact is one way. Number 2 is to cite an expert. Here's what the experts say about the market. Is there an economist you could reference? Is there like a recent news article you could reference? You could talk about experts. The third way is to say, here's where we think the opportunity is. So we is more powerful than I. So have a conversation with your colleagues. Talk about it in your office. How about at a sales meeting? Talk about where the opportunity is. People really enjoy hearing about opportunity. So those are the 3 ways to answer the question. What I notice right now, you guys, because the market's changing, it's cooling off. What I notice is that there are realtors now, all of a sudden, who are reluctant to talk about the market. It's like they don't even know what to talk about, or they're like embarrassed about it, or shy, or they're worried, or they don't think it's going to be as fun to talk about or as interesting. Because the market is cooled, it's almost like they don't know what to say. It's almost like it was so easy to talk about the market back from a year ago or several months ago because it was so frenzied. You know, that's easy to talk about, fun to talk about. It's fun to talk about how crazy things are, and now all of a sudden they don't know what to say. So I'm thinking of this like as a metaphor. Think of a baseball game, right? So it's baseball season right now. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I like to watch a game every once in a while. So think of like if you're a baseball announcer, 2 people doing baseball announcing, and if the game is 12-10, and that's a high-scoring baseball game. So there's that's crazy, right? There's all kinds of things happening, and there's home runs and hits and stolen bases and on, and wild pitches, right? In a game that's 12-10, it's pretty chaotic, right? So you can imagine those announcers have a whole lot of fun with that. But also imagine now that there's a baseball game that's 2-0. Okay, so if the baseball game is 2-0, it's still important for them to have things to talk about during the game to keep people engaged. And guess what? There's still a whole lot to talk about, even in a game that's 2-0. Now, that's probably a little too dramatic of a metaphor to compare a game that's 2-0 to today's market, but maybe it's a little more high scoring than that. But the point is there's still things to talk about, and it's still upon us to find things to talk about. And because there are many, many things, I'm not saying that you need to make things up to talk about, but just look for the things to talk about. What you need to know, all you professional realtors out there, or my realtor friends, what you need to know that in many ways, you guys, you are in the media business, okay? You're in the media business. So, really any company out there, big or small, a big piece of what they do, a big part of what they think about to generate business, to raise awareness, is how are they presenting themselves in the media. So you're in the media business. So, sure, you're in the service business, you're in the business of taking care of people, but you're also in the media business. And so what you can use is the news and the things that are happening in the market. You can use those as things to talk about, because what any media person wonders about, what they're always on the lookout for is, okay, what the heck am I going to talk about? I need something to talk about. I need to write an article, so I need that article to be about something. What the heck am I going to talk about? Well, guess what? There's all kinds of things to talk about in today's market. So just use the changes in today's market, use what's happening in today's market as reasons to reach out to people, as reasons to post on social media, as reasons to make videos, as reasons to send newsletters and postcards, and on and on and on. Oh my gosh, you guys, there is so much to talk about. All right, so just because it's not as frenzied as it was before, that's not giving you an excuse to not talk about the market anymore, to go into hiding or to kind of be shy or reluctant about it. No, what I would argue is that people right now, they are more curious than ever, because what's happening right now is unprecedented in terms of change and pace of change. Interest rates have doubled in the last 7 months. So that's caused a big change in the market. And so people are wondering about what the heck is going on. And so guess what? You get to fill the void, right? There is a void right now. There's a void because people are going quiet. When I say people, I mean realtors, right? So realtors are going quiet right now. Not all, but many are, because again, they don't know what to say. They got so used to talking about the craziness, and isn't it fun, and to talk about the bidding wars and multiple offers and the escalation clauses and properties selling within hours, and that's all easy and kind of fun to talk about. Well, guess what? There's still a whole lot to talk about. So as these other people go into hiding, you can fill the void that they are creating as they go away. Now, one thing I'll tell you as we talk about ways to phrase, something not to do that I hear some people doing is don't give any version of the market is coming to a screeching halt. All right, I'm hearing that a little bit, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Screeching halt. I'm hearing, yeah, the market's coming to a screeching halt, or no one's buying anymore, or gosh, the market is going off a cliff, and it's like, oh my gosh, we're it's the end. And here's what I'll tell you. I've been doing this for a while, and so when I hear that, what I think is like 2009. 2009's like, hey, hold my beer. You think that the market is coming to a screeching halt? I'll show you a screeching halt. No, the market still has plenty of activity, right? Is it what it was 18 months ago or a year ago or even 6 months ago? No, but come on. So let's not say that, because that's not effective. That's not instructive. That's not real. That's not the truth. That's not doing anything to build up your credibility or to bring clarity to a confused market. The market is not coming to a screeching halt. So what are some things we can say that would be more truthful and also more valuable? Well, I think what you could say is, you know what? The reality of the market right now, it's less frenzied than it was before, right? So there's less frenzy, more rationality, more normalcy. The pendulum is definitely swinging back. And really what that means is it's giving buyers now some room to breathe. And buyers are appreciating that. And buyers have some time now to consider their options. And they definitely have more options. And the reality is there's a whole lot of opportunity right now in the market. And sellers, though, they need to really understand the changes and make sure that they're positioned really well in this more competitive market, because really buyers now today are more discerning than they have been in a long time. And they believe and see and feel that they have a little more power back And so it's really important that sellers price their properties right, and that they also really look at the condition that their property is in, because condition today is more important than ever. So, that little speech I just gave, that's a good one to give to anyone curious about the market, and also weaving in stats and facts about the market. So here are the three big questions you're getting asked right now, and I want to help you with these questions. Here are the three big questions that you're getting asked. First one is, so what are prices going to do, right? And you still get some version of, oh my gosh, prices are going to crash, we're in a bubble, all the things, you get that. So what I think a really good way to answer the price question right now is to say, when people say, so what do you think prices are going to do? You say, look, what we think is that prices are going to go back to their long-term average. Prices will go back to what they've always done over the long term in terms of how much they're appreciating. We don't think this pace of appreciation will last. We've been waiting for that to slow down. We're expecting that to slow down, and that's going to happen in the very near future. The pace of appreciation will slow down and just go back to a more normal pace of appreciation. So what you need to know is, what is the long-term average of appreciation in your market? For most of you, that's going to be around 5 or 6, maybe even 7% per year. And so you need to know that number and say that to your clients. Like, that's what I think. That's what we think. Prices are going to go back to a more normal pace of appreciation. There's a metaphor that I think is really good. And that metaphor is, it's like we've been running up a staircase for a couple of years now, like sprinting up this staircase. Well, guess what? We got tired, right? The market got tired of that pace. You can't sustain that pace, right? No one can run up a flight of stairs quickly for 2 years in a row. But now what we're doing, we're going to start walking up the stairs, right? We're going to walk up the stairs in a more normal pace. So that's what we think. When they ask you, well, gosh, are prices going to crash, et cetera, you can say, look, that it's just not realistic for that to happen, given the level of inventory in the market. We're still undersupplied. Yes, inventory is going up, but we're still undersupplied. We are so far from anything like a glut of inventory. You really need a glut of inventory on the market for prices to crash. Markets really don't crash. Real estate markets don't. Stock markets do, but real estate markets really don't crash. You would need a glut of supply, resale homes and new homes, for that to happen. So no, we don't think that's going to happen. So that's number one. What are prices going to do? Number two, question you're getting asked is some version of, so is now a good time to buy? Like, is now a good time to buy? Should I wait? All the things. So you can refer back to the price conversation on waiting. Waiting presents a risk. We think that interest rates may go up over the coming months because of inflation, et cetera. Plus prices are going to keep going up. And then the best thing to do around is now a good time to buy. The best way to approach that is to get people to consider the right time frame. So this isn't really about what's going to happen in the next month or 2 or 3 or 6. It's really about how long are they going to be in that home, and let's talk about the fundamentals in your market. So that's what I would do when I get asked that question. That's what I do when I ask that question. Say, you know what? It's important to just look at the kind of the fundamentals that are here in our market and what's caused our market to perform over the long term. And here's what those fundamentals are, and just rattle off the fundamentals related to anything related to the economy in your local market, and the diversity of the economy, and the fact you're not reliant upon just one industry and its location, and its like built-in amenities and quality of life, and right, those things. So just talk about the fundamentals in your market that cause your market to perform over the long term. And then the third thing that comes up right now as you talk to your clients is potential sellers. What do they need to know? Well, what they need to know is that inventory is going up, and a really good stat to talk about is the months of inventory. So memorize and know the months of inventory in your market. For most of you, what's going on is you've gone from weeks of inventory to months of inventory. And of course, what I mean is, how long would it take to sell all the listings on the market at the current pace of sales? How long would that take? It's just a simple math equation. So for most of you, that's gone from like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, to now you're at like 2 months, 3 months. Some of you have gone up to as high as 4 months, right, in a short amount of time. And that's what sellers need to know. So sellers need to understand that, how months of inventory have changed. And also how when you look at the number of available properties, how that's increasing, but transaction count is decreasing, that's a really important stat to tell them, that then communicates to them that they need to be very reasonable with their pricing. This is no time to be overly aggressive, overly optimistic with their price. We need to price to the market. We need to pay attention to what the market is telling us. And then again, condition is super important because of those stats. Okay, so I hope you guys, this was helpful. I, again, encourage you, implore you, you guys fill the void, right? Fill the void. There's a void being created by realtors now reluctant to talk about the market because they don't know what to say, or they're feeling a little embarrassed or sheepish, or, gosh, things aren't as frenzied anymore. And so it's not as fun, or I don't feel as confident about talking about the market in a time of change. So be the one that can, right? Be the one that can easily talk about the market no matter what the conditions are. Okay, that's it, my friends. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being a part of this so much. I encourage you to check out my group coaching program called Alpha State. AlphaStateClass.com is where you can go for that. And I look forward to seeing you on our next podcast. In the meantime, of course, enjoy life on the leading edge. Bye.